Hello and welcome to our lesson. Today we're going to review the two foundational dimensions of human behavior. They are assertiveness and responsiveness. Both of these dimensions can be observed through verbal and nonverbal communication behaviors. Let's go ahead and start with assertiveness. Assertiveness is the way a person is perceived to initiate action with others, and how one is seen as attempting to influence the thoughts and actions of others through directing. Key word there is directing. This really reflects the degree to which you state your opinion with confidence and force, and overtly attempt to direct others. The next dimension is responsiveness. Responsiveness is the way a person is perceived as expressing feelings with others. Some people control their feelings and emotions, while others emote theirs. So this reflects the extent to which a person is perceived to be more focused on people and relationships versus the tasks. So let's take a few minutes to look at where each of us falls on these two dimensions. In the resource section of our site, please find the Assertiveness and Responsiveness Scale worksheet. All right, so let's go ahead and look at where we fall on each of these dimensions. So here's your Assertiveness and Responsiveness Scale. First of all, you can see that we have this first section here for assertiveness. Remember, assertiveness is really about directing, from asking to directing. And then we have another scale here, the other dimension that we talked about, which is responsiveness. I'm just going to do this because this helps me remember kind of which is which. So when I think about how others perceive me, where do I think I would be on this sheet? I think from an assertiveness perspective, just being in the role that I'm in, I would assume that people would probably place me right here. From a task focus versus people and relationship focus, or the responsiveness scale, I think people would probably put me down here because I am very much about people and relationships. So what you want to do is you want to think about your team. Where would you put your team on this scale? What about someone who's difficult to work with? Where would you put them, that you find challenging? So I'm going to think about a person in my head here, no names to be given. And I'm going to think about where I would place this individual on the assertiveness scale. Remember, this is, do they ask or do they tell? Are they indirect or are they direct? This individual is probably off the charts when it comes to direct. Then when I think about, is that individual task-focused or people and relationship focused, where does he fall on this scale? Definitely down in this area. Very, very task focused. So what you can see here is that we're very similar when it comes to our assertiveness behavior, but when it comes to responsiveness, we're very different. He is definitely more focused on the task at hand, where I am more focused on the people and the relationships. So again, what I would recommend is that you use this for your team and get a sense as to where your team are plotted on this scale. And that completes our lesson today on the two foundational dimensions of human behavior.